I want to move on to another development this week. Paul Ryan has now come out and endorsed you. You've talked to him several times.
Yes.
Which of his ideas, the famous Ryan ideas, are most appealing to you?
He's most appealing. He's a good man. He wants good things for the country. We will agree on many things. We're not going to agree on all things, but we're going to agree on many things.
For instance?
Paul Ryan, well, I think we'll agree on, as an example, he really focuses on poverty. He wants to take people out of poverty. So do I. And we're going to come up with a plan.
Why do you think people are poor, by the way?
They're poor because they don't have jobs. They're poor in many cases because they don't have jobs. And I will tell you, I will bring jobs back to this country like nobody's ever seen before. And people like Carrier and Ford and Nabisco leaving Chicago and moving to Mexico, they're all moving to Mexico. I will stop that very quickly.
Do you see yourself as implementing Paul Ryan's agenda as president, or is Paul Ryan implementing the Donald Trump agenda?
I think it's going to be a compromise, honestly. I can see a compromise.
Because on issues of trade, entitlements, you and he, immigration. So trade, entitlements, immigration, those are no small issues. You are on exactly the opposite end of the... Those aren't differences. You're on the opposite end of the...
Well, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, we've spoken about it very briefly. They're big subjects. You know what my deal is on trade? I want good deals. That's what my deal. You know, somebody said, what is your position on trade? I said, I want good deals. Whether it's free trade, not free trade, I don't care what kind of trade it is. I want good deals for our country. We don't make good deals. We have a trade deficit with China that is through the roof. We have a trade deficit with Mexico. We have a trade deficit with Japan. We make bad deals, whether it's the military, whether it's trade. We only make bad deals.
Let me ask you about Mitch McConnell on the Senate side. He was asked by CNN two things. One, about the deporting of the 11 million undocumented immigrants, which the president, by the way, called a fantasy. He said if you asked him to do that, he would say, no, don't do it. He also said about the temporary ban on Muslim immigration, no, don't do it. These are two big promises. You got millions of votes based on these promises. How are you going to get past the establishment to keep those promises?
You're going to have to watch and you're going to have to see. I've done a lot of things that nobody thought I could do.
But you're not backing down on those promises based on the no from the Senate.
We have to do something. We have a problem in this country. We have a radical Islamic terrorism problem in this country. And by the way, throughout the world, it's a problem. And it's a temporary ban. I'm not talking permanent. It's a temporary ban. We have to find out what's going on.
Let me ask you about what does the Mexican heritage of the judge in the Trump University case have to do with anything?
I think it has a lot to do with it. First of all, I've had terrible rulings forever. I had a judge previous to him, and it would have been a very quick case. This is a case I should have won on summary judgment. This is a case, and nobody writes this, and they all know it, but they don't like to write it. The plaintiff in the case was a woman. She was so bad that under deposition, it was over. I mean, she couldn't have been the plaintiff. It was a disaster. They went before the judge. They said, we don't want her to be the plaintiff. We want to put somebody else in. So we said, well, that's fine. Dismiss the case. You have to dismiss the case. Wait a minute. She gave letters, the most incredible reviews of the college you've ever seen, of the university. She gave the most incredible. Then on top of it, we have a tape where she's talking about it in the most glowing terms. You wouldn't speak about your college.
Mr. Trump, what does this have to do with his parents being from Mexico?
How does that... Excuse me. I'm just saying, we're getting terrible rulings. We go to the judge. We say to the judge, hey, you can't let her out of the case. He let her out of the case. We said, well, if you're going to let her out of the case, she's the plaintiff. If you're going to let her out of the case is over. No, the case isn't over. Okay? Now,
give me the thought process, though. Why? How does this work?
My thought process.
No, for him. How does his Mexican parents have to do with him not ruling for you?
He's a member of a club or society very strongly pro-Mexican, which is all fine. But I say he's got bias. I want to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall. I'm doing very well with the Latinos, with the Hispanics, with the Mexicans. I'm doing very well with them, in my opinion. And we're going to see. You're going to see. Because you know what? I'm providing jobs. Nobody else is giving jobs. But just so you understand, this judge has treated me very unfairly. He's treated me in a hostile manner, and there's something going on. When a woman can be a plaintiff in a case and then say, I don't want to be, and you know why they don't want to be a plaintiff? They didn't want her. The lawyers asked that she not be a plaintiff because they would have lost the case immediately.
So I'm trying to figure out your thinking here, though. If his Mexican heritage, the fact that his parents were Mexican immigrants, is a barrier to him doing his job, why would any Mexican voter vote for you? Wouldn't they be the same barrier, same problem?
No, they're going to vote for me because I'm going to bring jobs into the country.
But isn't it the same problem because you want to build a wall and all of that?
No.